Tonight, the road to survival. In Rhode Island, 129,000 women, 76,000 men are survivors of domestic violence, according to the most recent data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
To put it a different way, think about 20 people you know. It's likely that of those people, 5 women and 3 men will experience or already have experienced domestic abuse. And that abuse can have lifelong consequences. And
Patrick Little talked to a survivor to learn more. It's a story you'll see only on Eyewitness News.
Unfortunately, domestic violence isn't a new problem, but we are learning new information about it, especially the impact that it has on victims' lives.
I met him when I was 13 and he was a senior in high school. He would check my phone and make sure I wasn't hanging out with anybody but him. I would take the bus home from school and he would follow the bus in his car. And after my parents went to sleep at night, I would sneak out and meet him.
Now 21 years old, Charlotte says at the age of 13, she had no idea what she was getting herself into. She says mental abuse from her boyfriend quickly turned to physical abuse.
The second after he hit me, he apologized. He was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Like, I would never mean to do that to you. I would never hurt you." And what's funny is I was the one that ended up consoling him. And as a younger kid, I didn't really have that many relationships to base it off of, I guess. It didn't really occur to me that this was like a weird and a bad thing.
1 in 10 Rhode Island high schoolers has reported that they've been in a abusive relationship already. That's astounding.
Deb DeBear is the executive director of the Rhode Island Coalition Against Domestic Violence.
So often victims of dating violence and victims of domestic violence don't recognize how seriously dangerous the situation can become.
Charlotte says that was the case for her, and she's not alone. The numbers are staggering. 1.5 million high school students nationwide experience physical abuse from a dating partner every year. And that abuse can have devastating impacts. Victims become a higher risk for substance abuse, eating disorders, and further domestic violence. And half of youth victims of both dating violence and rape attempt suicide. Charlotte says she started to realize she was in a dangerous situation, but still couldn't get out. Studies show that only 33% of teens who are in an abusive relationship ever told anyone about the abuse.
They have so many layers of which they control you. It's the emotional abuse, it's the physical abuse, the sexual abuse, it's everything. I literally thought he would kill me if I tried to leave. It just got to the point where I was just so scared that I was like, there's nothing I can do.
So just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, it keeps getting worse.
It keeps getting worse.
But you continued.
Yeah, I was a kid. I didn't know that there was a way out.
Coming up new at 6, Charlotte escapes her abuser but still has to overcome the aftermath, which included depression and also substance abuse. We'll have more on her road to recovery and also vital information for you or maybe someone you know that could be a victim of abuse. I'm Patrick Little, Eyewitness.